be this much of a deadbeat dad. That's badass. And I want Smithy to grow old with Fitz, okay? They are spelling their own doom, so to speak. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is the Astral Library, and we have editor Emily here because past Emily forgot to record a proper introduction to this video, but I wanted to make sure that you guys are welcomed in, you know what's going on. So by the title, I'm sure you can see that we have the very first of the Magical Readathon vlogs. So in this vlog, we're going to be reading my Magical Readathon TBR, which you saw those pics in the last TBR videos. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. It tells you all my thoughts on what I'm reading and how I ended up with those choices. But the first pick I have for this vlog is my most intimidating read. And spoiler, I don't actually quite finish the book. In fact, as I'm recording this clip, I am maybe 70-ish pages away from finishing it. So I just wasn't able to finish it in time. But the thoughts I do have are a time. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into Past Emily, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Hello! It is officially April 1st. Look, if we could look at my phone. Come on, focus. That it is April 1st before 12 o'clock. Your girl is tired. It was a very long Easter. Family was just over until really late. And I have school starting tomorrow, and everything seems a little overwhelming. But you know what I'm gonna do? Instead of worry about that and stress over, I'm going to spend an hour reading because spring equinox for the Magical Readathon has officially begun today, and I'm going to kick it off by reading the most intimidating read, that of course being The Assassin's Apprentice. This is going to be my first pick for this vlog and possibly for the week. I don't know if I'll pick up anything else as I'm trying to read this book or if I'm gonna try to like spread this out over the entire month. We will see how into it I get, but this book intimidates me so much. I am so intimidated by this book, even though it's objectively not that long. Like, I read House of Flame and Shadow over the past 2 days and I finished that book, like almost start to finish. I think from like chapter 2 to the end, okay? So that's like 800 pages. 800 pages, I read that in 2 days. I could read a book half that in a day if I really put my mind to it. But that probably won't happen because this book scares me a lot more than that one ever did. So, we're just gonna start it. We're gonna start it and we're gonna not let a book stop us from finishing it because I would like to pass my classes, and this is unfortunately one of the books I have to read for that. Or maybe not unfortunately. Again, it scares me. I'm reading your guys' comments from the last video and a lot of you are saying like, this is the shortest book of the series. That's great. I love that for me. But also I hate that for me because if I love this book, I just know I'm in for such a long ride. Because the Assassin's Apprentice series spans so many books, I'm a little scared. And also my wallet's a little scared because I have this illustrated edition, which means I'm gonna have to buy the rest of the initial trilogy in the special editions. And then from there, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I would like them all to match. Probably won't happen, but we'll get there when we get there. Who knows, maybe I'll hate this book. Probably not the case. Everyone loves this book so much. And some of the people that I really trust read this book and loved it, so I know this is the start of another series I shouldn't do, but we're gonna because fuck it, why not? Okay, so I'm gonna start this and then what else do I got going on today? I gotta do some homework because the teacher like sprung on us literally last night a whole bunch of readings he want us to do, which is fine. It's grad school, I get it. But also, I wish we would have had a little more days notice. Mainly because I need to charge my iPad because that's where I take all my notes and do all my reading. So I just wish I had longer time so I could prepare that and get it done. But I gotta wait for that to charge. And so while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to sit here and read this. I'm not gonna tell you what this book is about because I don't know what this book is about, other than we have this character, Fitz, and that he is adopted and trained to be an assassin. And that's what we're following in this first book. I think we get some of his life before he's an assassin and just like during him being this apprentice. Other than that, no idea. And that's kind of how I want to go into this book. I don't want to know anything else going on. Okay, I want to experience this completely brand new. So we're gonna do that. But I will come back when I have started this book and have some thoughts to share. I think I'm gonna read for about an hour or so. Just, you know, dip my toes in, give my iPad a little more time to charge before I dive in and do some homework because I really need to get those readings done. But I will catch you in the next update.
Miss Winnie.
Hello. It is about 1 something, maybe 2. I'm pausing right now just because I wanted to like catch you guys up, and I think give myself a chance to catch up with my day and like do other things. Like I just paid some bills, unfortunately. And I need to tidy up. I know I need to clean my house because there's a ton of dirt from all the wind and rain we've been getting, so I need to go do that. But before I do any of that, I wanted to update you guys about Assassin's Apprentice. I read 2 chapters. I'm on chapter 3, which means I'm on page like 50-ish. First, this book is so well made. Just like the construction of it feels so nice in my hands. I love it. I'm very happy I got this edition to read this book in. Also mad at myself because I'm going to have to buy more of these editions and they're kind of expensive. But the book itself I'm enjoying. We've really only just like dipped our toes into this world. So we're meeting Fitz, we're learning how he gets his name, which we just see him just be called Fitz. No rhyme or reason for it. He's just being called Fitz, and that's his adopted persona. In this introduction to who Fitz is and kind of like what's going on in this world, we learn a few things. One, Fitz is gonna have a deadbeat father who literally doesn't want to meet him at all, which great. I don't know how you can have a name like Chivalry and like be this much of a deadbeat dad, but it is what it is, I guess. So Fitz is being brought back to the something keep. I have a feeling there's gonna be so many names in this book, I'm just gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Where are we? The Buck Keep. So he's been brought back to the Buck Keep to meet his father and on behests of the king, but then his father beats him there and is like, nah, deuces. I am gonna leave the throne and I still don't wanna meet this kid. So I'm gonna be over in this like little nice meadowy forest area doing my own thing. Y'all have fun fighting for this throne. I'm out. And so Fitz is brought and no one knows what to do with him because his father has just abdicated the throne, or like abdicated his right to inherit the throne. His keeper doesn't know what to do with him. So he's just this floating entity, and Fitz decides, okay, whatever, I'm a kid, I'm gonna do what kids do. And he ends up befriending kind of like the other children of the town who are doing what kids do. They like play, they steal, they're just running around being kids. And in the last chapter I read, we see that Fitz has some sort of magical power. We see it, we catch a glimpse of it here and there, where he can foreseeably like push people. I think he almost causes a heart attack at one point. He has some sort of like magical ability, and it's at the end of the 2nd chapter that we see that this is like a known thing, and he in particular has a affinity for animals. So he's been running around with this dog Nosy since chapter 1, and they're like the best of friends. They're so cute. When his keeper finds out, he's like immediately wants to shut this down, that we're getting some sort of like insight that the power that Fitz has is not a well-respected power, at least not in Burke's minds. We'll see if it's true for everyone else, but essentially he warns that, oh, people who have these connections with animals and are able to like meld their minds together end up becoming beasts. And he refuses to let Fitz become that beast, and so he takes Nosy away and he kills Nosy, which is extremely fucked up. Like, I was not expecting this book to give me like a cute little dog companion and then rip him away. Like, that's mean. And I don't know what this is saying for the rest of the journey of this book, but I'm now wary. But I'm also wary of like, what is Fitz going to do? Because I know he ends up becoming an assassin. The whole book is the Assassin's Apprentice. That's where we're gonna end up. And I'm worried of like, how is this power going to be received in its entirety? Are we gonna have kind of like a hidden power scenario? Are we going to see this prejudice for the power turn him more jaded, and that's how he end up becoming an assassin? I don't know. There's so many questions I have. But I am enjoying the start of this book. Not a lot has happened, and we've gotten a lot of like dump in like history information, which is fine. It's the beginning of a fantasy novel. I kind of expect that. But I really enjoy the way Robin Hobb is doing it. I really enjoy her writing. There's been like several moments where she like, the turn of phrase she has like really captivates me. Like at the end of chapter 1, Fitz is, because the story's told from like an older Fitz's perspective as he's like remembering all these things. And they're the ending line of chapter 1 of how he's fatherless, motherless, and everyone is like thinking him to being a catalyst. And so a catalyst he became was just, mwah, it was so good. It was so good. I am so excited to see how this book develops and how Fitz becomes a catalyst. I'm very, very, very interested in seeing how that develops. I think that line alone has like cemented my fate into probably diving into this world. In fact, I have books 2 and 3 in these editions in my cart as we speak. I'm gonna wait off probably for like a day or two before I order them, but I see myself ordering them and reading them because I foresee that I'm going to really enjoy this book, which just makes how long I've had this book and like how long I put it off really funny, but so it goes, so it goes. But like I said, I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm going to try to do some stuff around the house and again, prepare for school, which I really don't want to do. Like, I cannot express to you how much I would love to still be on break and just relax and sleep and not have to worry about homework. But alas, life moves on. I'm gonna go do that. I will catch you when I have another update. Hello. It is, I think, 2 days since I last updated you. It's Wednesday. And I just got back from school. And I thought I'd update you guys, but I also need to redo my nails because, like, look at this. I, like, one chipped off almost entirely and it's not for it, okay? So I thought I'd update you guys on my thoughts about Assassin's Apprentice as I'm taking off this nail polish and putting new nail polish on. I did some reading last night. I didn't do a ton of reading just because it was a very long day for me. I started at like, I left the house about 8. I didn't get home till about 6-ish. So it was a long day, right? And it was just, and my day ended on a very thought-provoking class because the teacher's brilliant. He's so smart in ways that I cannot hope to understand sometimes. And that's kind of exhausting, especially since it's a 3-hour course. So you're just sitting there just like, man, I'm potentially learning a lot, but also potentially learning nothing because he's so brilliant and the topics we're covering are almost incomprehensible with how complex they are. But I digress. That's about school. We're not here to talk about school. We are here to talk about Assassin's Apprentice. So I did get some reading done last night. And I read until chapter 6. So I gave myself like a goal of reading at least 50 pages a day. And I pretty much accomplished that yesterday. I think I ended up on page 108. So I ended up reading 60 pages, which makes up for the lack of 50 pages I did the first time I sat down to read it. And not much has happened still. We're really early on in Fitz's journey and just trying to figure out his life at the keep, how he's growing up after the events of, killing Nosy, which was still fucked up, okay? I wish someone warned me that there was going to be a dog death, because I could have prepared myself and hardened my heart to this animal companion, but no, I got attached only to lose him. Again, I digress. One thing that did happen is that while Fitz is just kind of like futzing around the keep and just relatively living his life, he encounters the king, who is talking to his youngest son, Regal, who's, we can tell is kind of like an ass. Like, he's got a lot of insecurities and he thinks he should be first in line for the throne rather than being last in line for the throne. And one of the things he says to Regal, which is relatively smart advice for, a monarch, is that people like Fitz and like people in Fitz's positions who have a legitimate tie to the throne and to the royal blood, but are in this like precarious position because Fitz is a bastard, that he is potentially the most dangerous thing to the royal line. But also, if he is treated right, he is the biggest asset. And essentially, he has this whole argument that if Fitz is treated right and he is fed and clothed and trained and educated, he will become a loyal, tool to the crown. Someone they can use for no negotiation, someone they could send into more dangerous situations, who has the authority of royalty, but also doesn't come with the same risk. Like, if something were to happen to Fitz, it wouldn't interrupt the entire royal line. So the king's making this rather convincing argument and makes sense purely from a practical standpoint. Like any other aspect, it's fucked up. And the king decides to do that with Fitz. He's like, I'm going, and he brings Fitz to his side and he's like, I'm going to clothe you, feed you, and treat you right. And in return, you're going to be forever loyal to me. And Fitz, who I think is like 8 or 9 at this point, doesn't really understand what's going on, and he just kind of like nods his acceptance, and his life starts changing. Now Fitz is being trained in horseback riding, he's being trained in combat, and most importantly, he's being trained in the arts of assassination. And really the section I read, so chapters 3, 4, and 5 were all about that. Just what is Fitz's life now like that he is being seen and trained in a certain way. We get a little more talk about his powers and a little more hints that there is someone who could teach Fitz his powers, but they're refusing. But generally, we're just really trying to get started into this story. I'm curious to see how this goes. Are we going to continue with this is how Fitz is being the assassin? It's really not what I expected. I expected him to fall into like some sort of like assassination guild rather than being trained within the keep and within this royal family. I'm a little wary to see how it will develop, especially after we got this really fucked up test. So like Fitz is told to forever be loyal to the king, and that anything that as long as the king is treating him well, that Fitz should be loyal to the king. And there's this test where Fitz is told to steal something from the king's room, and he's like, no. And mind you, Fitz is like still pretty young. I would think maybe no older than 10, 11. And he's like, no, like that feels wrong. I don't want to do it. And when he refuses and walks out, he is essentially like isolated. That his mentor, who he's been really close to this entire time, like completely abandons him, and Fitz just falls to pieces, unsure of what to do because he doesn't want to betray the king because he's been treated right and he's been given his own room and clothed and fed and all of that. And to like be forced to choose between the two of them, he cannot make a decision. And so he ends up doing nothing but kind of wasting away, and it makes him really sick. Like just sick to the stomach of like doesn't know what to do, and he's feeling that he's been abandoned. And then to find out, of course, it was all a test designed by the king himself. So there is actually this is like the end of the section I read, and there is a great line. So when Fitz is like brought back into the fold and told that this was all a test, and that the king, to his credit, does admit that this was all my idea, that your mentor did not want to do it, but it was my design, and he owned up to it to Fitz's face, which I thought was pretty cool, because usually like these kings like don't take credit or responsibility for anything like that, or even admit that it was their fault and that they recognize that it was fucked up. This king did, so that was kind of nice. But Fitz steals a knife at the end of that conversation, like looks the king in the eye, takes the knife that he was just using and slips it up his sleeve. And then when we go to the mentor, who is again kind of like apologizing, you're never gonna be tested this way again, I didn't want to do this and I apologize and all that, Fitz like takes the knife that he stole from the king and he like stabs it into the mantle. And like the last line of the chapter was like, and it's still there. That's badass. I enjoy Fitz's character a lot. And I'm still trying so hard to be really good and not order the next 2 books. They're like sitting in my cart and I keep like moving them to save for later and then back into my cart and then save for later. I'm like this close to just purchasing them because I have a feeling I'm really, really gonna like this series and I'm gonna like this book and want to continue on. But I'm trying to be good, so I'm trying to like wait to the end of this book to make sure I'm really, really enjoying it. Because like who knows, maybe it could be really good and then have a real shit ending. I don't think that's going to be the case because I'm really adoring Robin Hobb's writing and just the way she's crafting this story. I'm very much invested. Yesterday I had class and everything. I was so tired and I did not want to do anything. And I for sure thought I was gonna go to bed at like 8 o'clock. Mind you, I usually go to bed at like midnight. So I was wiped. And I was like, I don't know if I can sit and read these 50 pages, but I just hit a stride and was like super invested in the story and just Fitz's development that I was like, I have to keep reading, even though I'm so tired. It held my attention and it kept me awake. That's a great sign. As much as I was like dreading this book, I'm really enjoying it. Which just goes to show that sometimes the really intimidating reads shouldn't be that intimidating to you because you might end up really liking them. And I foresee myself going down a Robin Hobb hole, especially because this is a very expansive universe. Let's get some playful dogs. Yes, this is a really expansive universe with, I think we have something like 3 or 4 trilogies in it. Don't take my word for that, okay? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this blue is like staining my nails. Teach me to use this color again, Jesus. That's all the update I have for you. I'm still relatively early in this book. Nothing much has happened. It's the first 100 pages, which in fantasy books is all build up. So I can't say too much more about that other than I'm enjoying what I've read so far. Normally I find build up to be rather tedious, and while important and I can see the necessity of it, I'm usually kind of bored. I don't think I've been bored yet in this book. I think maybe if I was bored, only for a moment or two, and then it grips me back into the story. I think because Fitz is such an interesting character, and especially since we're following him so young, but we're told the story through an older Fitz's perspective, it's got me curious to see how is Fitz going to develop? How are these formative years really key to who we end up seeing or who we end up meeting as they're telling us the story? So I'm intrigued. And I will be reading more later today after I do my nails. So that's, I think, like in a couple hours, just because nails take fucking forever to dry. I will come back to you when I have read more and I have more thoughts. Hello. It's been a couple days since I last updated you. And that's just because it's been a couple days since I've really had a chance to sit down and read. But I am now about halfway through Assassin's Apprentice, and I'm still very much loving this story. It's a lot different than how I originally expected the story to go. Not that I really had any expectations of this. I didn't really know what the story was about, but following Fitz's life throughout his time at the keep and just meeting everyone and this magic system and this weird mystery going on in the kingdom is very, very interesting. Where I just left off, we have met Patience, who is this very enigmatic figure that we think would be really hostile to Fitz, but in truth, she's wanting this connection with him. And that's been really kind of cool and unexpected, because normally when we have a situation where Fitz is the bastard and Patience would be, which is a legitimate wife, there would be tension between them, a lot of hatred. But to see that the relationship has a lot of potential to be something really heartwarming and for them to connect with each other's very, very cool, and something I don't really see a lot in fantasy. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited that she gave him a dog, and I swear to God, if something happens to this dog, I am going to put this book down and never read it again, okay? I will purge Robin Hobb from my collections, because she cannot keep giving me dogs that are cute only to take them away again, okay? She can't do it. We're not doing that anymore. No more. None. Okay? I want the dog. I want the cute dog with the bubbly personality that is very attached to Fitz, and Fitz is very attached to him. Don't take it away from me again, okay?
Only had Arlo for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Glad we're all on the same page for that. But I'm probably gonna take a break right now because I've been reading for the past couple hours, and I think I'm going to make dinner, and then I'm just gonna hop right back into this because I want to try to finish it this week, but I am running out of time to record this vlog, and I have D&D tomorrow, so that's also gonna eat up some of my time. So we'll see how much I really get done in this book, but I might have another update for you guys later this evening because I am going to read more of this book tonight. In fact, that's really the only plans I have because I'm avoiding homework and things I need to do purely so I can read a book and just relax. It's been a busy couple days filled with just like social interaction, people, and I just all when I just wanted to read this book. But first, food, because I've had nothing but kind of like sweets all day, and so I need actual food just so I don't rot my teeth out and feel like I'm on a sugar high. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I will catch you guys in a later update. Hello. This is probably going to be the end of the vlog just because I don't see myself finishing the book today. There's just too much going on. But I do want to talk to you about my experiences reading this book because where it ended last night, I have about 100 pages left. I literally ended on page 300. And I have to say, I was a fool. I was a fool for putting this book off for so long because I am adoring every moment of it. And it's kind of funny because this is a relatively slow book. Like, by all accounts, I should not be enjoying this book as much as I am because not a lot has happened. But it is something about Robin Hobb's writing and Fitz's character and the world that has got me just so intrigued that I don't mind that we haven't had a ton of progress because I have a ton of questions as it is. And I feel like the bits and pieces I've been given have been like stimulating my mind enough to like grasp onto the story and to wonder what's going on. And there's just so many characters that I really love in this. Like, I cannot tell you why, but one of my favorite characters in this book is the Fool. I just love him. I love the idea of like the chosen one with the little weirdo and like their friends. It's a dynamic I adore. Like, that's why I like Darrow and Severo so much. Their dynamic's amazing, and I have a feeling that the Fool and Fitz kind of have a similar dynamic where we have the Fool who everyone else is kind of like, who the fuck is this weirdo? But then Fitz talks to him and he's also like, this guy's so weird, but also we're friends. And they're looking out for each other, and I love that. But yes, I am super, super enjoying this book. I've loved every second of it. I think Robin Hobb's writing again is amazing. So many lines have just like stuck with me. Like, I can't get past the ending of her first line, how Fitz is gonna be a catalyst. I'm so excited to see what is that going to be like. Because we see more and more that Fitz is being forced almost into these roles of like recognizing and being part of the royal family, even though Fitz himself has no ambition towards that. I think Fitz would be very happy in a life where he's a nobody. He's just tending to animals, having fun with his friends, flirting with Molly, but everyone keeps saying and having these expectations that he's going to be more. And I think that ending line in chapter 1 that everyone thought he was a catalyst, so a catalyst he became, they are spelling their own doom, so to speak. That the reason why Fitz is so dangerous is because they keep making him more and more dangerous when, again, Fitz is very, very happy to just fade into the background. I will say this last chapter, or last segment of reading was kind of hard to read just because it was so frustrating to see Fitz broken down by Galen, who, oh my god, I hate Galen. I know I'm supposed to hate him, but I hate that man. I hate him so much. I hate people who abuse their power simply because they're too insecure about their own. Oh, it drives me crazy. And Galen is like the worst offender. Picture textbook person of like insecure asshole who abuses those below him because he can. And the way that he was able to break down Fitz was just brutal. Because we have Fitz, or a moment where he is contemplating committing suicide because of all the abuse Galen put him through. And the fact that it was Smithy the dog who like kept him from going over the edge was so good. And I swear to God, Robin Hobb, if you destroy this dog, if you kill this dog, I will never forgive you. I will never forgive you. Smithy must be there till the end. I want Smithy to grow old with Fitz, okay? I know it won't happen, but I want Smithy to grow old. Do not kill him any other way, damn it. I digress. I love the dog. I love Fitz. I love the characters. I love the story. I love the way this is going. I'm so interested in the magic system of this world because we have those two areas of magic. We have skill, which is a more widely accepted form of magic that I'm still not quite sure exactly what skill it is. It seems to be like some form of telekinesis where you can communicate with your mind, but it's also like mind manipulation of sorts. It's odd. It seems to be like multifaceted, but it's all mental. And then we have wit, which is this more like, I would say like druid magic, where you're like connecting with animals and nature. And we have whatever the fuck is going on with the Forge, where people are becoming not people, or Fitz describes it as people are like losing all their like emotions or like sense that makes them humanity. He calls them like threads, which tells emotion, intent, and thought and all that Fitz has been like subconsciously being aware of. And then the Forged, who are being like kidnapped and then released, are coming back all wrong. And he's saying there's none of those threads, that they're kind of a shell of who they used to be. And they're all, I want to say almost animalistic, like really kind of push themselves down to like their baser instincts. So they're all fighting for resources or fighting each other. They don't seem to be capable of any sort of like emotion or connection to other people. And usually they're pretty aggressive. We have a problem with them being robbers on the highways, but we also have another subsection of them who are just kind of like lifeless puppets. It's weird. I'm definitely wanting to learn more about that as the kind of story progresses, because I think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a form of wit or a form of skill or some other third thing that's going on. Very interesting. Robin Hobb is a master world builder, and I think her magic system is going to be really complicated in like the best ways. I've loved every second of this series so far. I did buy the next book. I didn't buy both books. I just bought the next one. I'm being a little good. I'm just a teeny little bit good. But I definitely think I'm gonna get a little more reading done today. I don't know if I'll finish the book because I do have stuff to do. And I do have D&D, but that's not until 3:30. We'll see. But I do think I'm gonna end this vlog here, and even though we didn't get to finish a book in this vlog, I will be continuing this next week and starting another book for the Magical Readathon. So I hope you guys join me there, but thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider leaving a thumbs up and a comment down below. Let me know if you've read any Robin Hobb, or if you've read The Assassin's Apprentice. What were your thoughts? Like, what was your experience dipping into the series? Or if you haven't read the series before, what is the series that has maybe intimidated you? And since you've made it this far into the video, why don't you go ahead and leave me a little black heart emoji just to say you were here, that you saw to the end. But again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!
5 hours later.
She killed the fucking dog!